Heyo, my Planet Coaster friends, Johnny Five Alive here, and welcome back to another episode of Park Spotlight. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at amazing cultures created by Mihaeru. Sorry if I butchered that, so stay tuned, and let's check it out. Alright, this was sent in by a subscriber, Mihaeru, and he says, "Many thanks to Johnny, and I hope you enjoy the rides. I would appreciate some feedback." This is also a subscriber, a non-Discord member, so if you're watching this, please be sure to come join us on Discord, as well as everyone else watching this video. Everybody is welcome in our wonderful community. Participate in all the contests, events, and increase your chances of a spotlight by being a ranked member. So there you go, guys. The information is down in the description below if you want to join in. Alright, quick intro today, guys. Let's just dive on into this. Alright, everybody. Here's a bird's eye view of this. This map feels a little bit bigger than the other ones. This is the deciduous, I think, or the grasslands. I do have to go on pause mode. We're getting 17 FPS right now on pause. So I guess my first bit of feedback, as always for these, is try not to build corner to corner. As you can see here, he was building this corner to corner style map and kind of probably ran out of CPU or processing power on his machine, and ends up only filling up half of the map size, and this still is enough to tank my computer. However, what is here looks absolutely stunning, and I suppose what I would say for people watching this video, or even Mihaeru, who was asking for some feedback, is when you're trying to plan your parks, try to take the map size into consideration and don't try to go end to end, because there is something a little bit strange about this, like cutting it off and having basically a square pad. Be much cooler to have rearrange everything that you had, but around the central area, leaving you some room for some lakes, some rivers, a couple mountains and hills, so that you have a little bit of a vista or exterior decorations, and then everything here could be shuffled around and rearranged in this nice central location, giving you room to do a little bit of terraforming. When you guys are starting these new parks off, probably try to think about some terraforming and unique stuff, and plan out your sections of your park. Like if you can see here with this western area, it's quite small. Now if you were to rearrange that, kind of have a hilltop with some lakes running through and terraform that around a nice little area, you could kind of get a lot more interesting landscape out of it. You know, this area is a pretty good example of that. It's all here, not pushed up against the corner of the map. It has a mountain in the middle with a coaster going through. It looks really good. And when you have that room and you're away from the corner of the screen, it gives you a little bit more opportunity to play around with your pathing and, you know, angle out certain aspects of the terrain. And it gives you a lot more interesting room to work with. But a lot of this looks really good, and like I said, it kind of got it's incomplete, and I wouldn't recommend building any further. The computer is already starting to tank here on pause mode, and we have 0 guests in the park. So I guess one good example of this, I think at the last park I was having struggles with on Nuka-Cola World, we had 66,000 pieces. Let's find out how many pieces are here. 56,000, but I just realized it's not selecting these back half. There might be a maximum selection now. So the Nuka-Cola World that I did this on last time might have actually been a lot more. 56,000, does it update? Alright, so we're at about 100,000. Okay, so Nuka-Cola World probably had a lot more than that. There might be kind of like a max selection going on. So this is about 100,000 pieces. And it's running slightly better than Nuka-Cola World did. So having said that, I think Nuka-Cola is well over 100, maybe 150,000. So pretty crazy stuff. So anyone building parks, try to consider keeping your parks to maybe under 100,000. 50 to 80,000 should be good. Pixel West, I know his parks have ranged around 50 to 60,000, and they run beautifully. So I think he's a good kind of staple. He makes these mega parks, but leaves a lot of room for scenery and decoration, and still manages to get them to run beautifully. Includes fireworks, has guests in the park. That's kind of how you want to get your parks going for these park spotlights, and also so that other people can download, subscribe to your creation, and enjoy it for themselves. Give that full immersive tour on an average machine. So that's just kind of my advice for you to start off. But the park looks beautiful, and I like the in construction here. Looks kind of cool. So we're gonna have to head to the right here because that's what's finished, and we'll check out all this stuff. So we got a little bit of a Caribbean theme going on here. Let's go on in. Tons of details. Absolutely amazing. The Black Pearl coaster. That looks fun. Ship's wheel. Nice food court. The Kraken. So hopefully we can run these coasters at a decent frame rate today. Port Royale. So we went down the main part. I see lots of lanterns. So we're going to have to check it out at night in a bit. Red Interceptor. Port Royale. Ooh. It's a very pretty area. Like that shot right there. It's very nice. I think there's a little bit of repetitiveness on your garden work down here. I'd probably space it out or put something every other, just to create some variation. So this leads us all the way back to the pirate area. Now, if you did, let me see his workshop here. I made the bad assumption a while ago that, on what park was it? Wonderworld? I assumed that the creator did not make everything in the park. That wasn't the case. And here on his workshop, he only has 4 items on his workshop. I'm not going to say it's safe to assume he didn't make everything. So if you're watching this, Mihaeru, these buildings look pretty fantastic. So be sure to pad your workshop a little bit by uploading your buildings individually so that people could download them and put them in their parks. I do see a lot of cohesiveness between his buildings, which kind of tends to make me believe that he built most of them, if not all of them. So a lot of these buildings are pretty great, and it's always good to upload these because with certain tags and create some sort of a nice naming convention. Valhalla. I like parks that are Viking themed like this. Yeah, create some cohesion, like maybe Viking in the name, and upload these buildings. Viking small building, Viking medium, Viking coaster station, and then with someone that's making a Viking park types in the obvious word Viking into the workshop, they're gonna find these buildings pop up. You're gonna download them, they're gonna rate them, and next thing you know, you're gonna have some popular downloads. So I find with parks and big coaster park files, they don't seem to get as many downloads and subscriptions because the people who are playing the game or playing scenario, career mode, or custom scenarios, they usually want to download the smaller things: shops, ride skins, buildings, decorations, and all that kind of stuff, centerpieces, placeable coasters. And so you might have a lot of stuff in your park that's absolutely wonderful, and a lot of it's not really getting seen or getting recognition because they're not up there individually, and it's highly unlikely that someone's going to download this park and save these blueprints, because then in some ways they're kind of encouraged to almost steal. Now hopefully they would just save them off on their personal computers without uploading them. That's what I would assume, but again, it's highly unlikely that they would download this park just to start saving out blueprints. But some people, if I move this building, it's all one piece. Some people have it in multiples, so these ones are actually separated quite nicely. So uploading these would actually be very quick. because they all are one big piece. So each one of these with a couple screenshots, some nice presentation. I think you could have essentially a whole collection of stylized buildings. And to me, that's right now your park here only has 100 subscribers. So having all these individual nice buildings uploaded is going to definitely help your workshop, get you a lot more subscribers overall, and it's going to help people build their parks. So, you know, it's just a good thing to keep in mind, guys. All right, the Lost World. Ooh, that's cool. Nice. Nice drops and hills on that wooden coaster. Mayans Legacy. It's a very beautiful portion of your park. Quite like this a lot. Got a log flume. Cool little ride skin over here. And last but not least, we got a little western area. This is nice. Yeah, see, all these buildings, they're great for making kits. If I were looking to build a western park and I typed in western on the workshop and all these came up, I would just start subscribing, and I would just go ham, placing them all down, making these nice little streets. So really good job on all this. And even if you didn't build it, and I'm assuming wrong, it's all laid out very nicely. The design work is great. Quite like the rock work on these boulders as well. We got a winged coaster. Alright, very nice. We kind of ripped through that one today, the different sections. That's okay, we have a ton of coasters to ride still. So let's start off with this kind of incompleted one over here. The Undying Love. The Dragon. There's the stats, guys. Alright, that one definitely seems like a prototype and work in progress for a dive coaster. I would definitely try to avoid these long drive wheels, and if you do use them, put them at a higher speed. You could select those whole strips and increase the speed, as it takes a long time to get through here. I get the idea maybe it was supposed to have take you kind of through a tour of these temples, and he was going to build that up more. Yeah, that would be my main feedback on this one. Track still needs a lot of work. Okay, let's try another unfinished, under construction coaster, the Valkyrie. So here's the results if you guys want to see them. All right, next up, guys, is the Black Pearl. I think it's a floorless coaster. There we go. There's the stats if you want to see them. Let's do it. All right, not too bad. One thing I did notice, I'd say keep an eye on your block sections and your block section timing, as there was quite a long wait time for the second coaster at the top there. All right, moving on, we got the Red Interceptor. What do we have here? It's the torque launched. Let's give this a try. There's the stats. For this guy, I probably would have recommended using a American Aero corkscrew coaster and actually having a lift on this guy, as a lot of the things you were trying to accomplish was very corkscrew feeling rather than a launch coaster. So that's my feedback for that guy. All right, we got a crazy inverted coaster inside of a volcano here. Why can't I select it? There we go. Let's give this a run. Next up, we have the Mayans Legacy Wooden Coaster. Track design on this one looks pretty darn good. Let's find out. I think we're going to skip the log flume today on this one. There's a look at it there. And we're going to go straight over to this Looney Turns. It's called the Gold Mine. Last but not least, we have Wing Launch Coaster, the Wild West Wing. Alright, so Mihaeru was looking for some feedback from this spotlight, and in terms of coaster feedback, I'm going to generalize it all. A lot of the coasters weren't that exciting in my opinion, and they could definitely use some more harder banking, smoothing, and smoothing transitions from one another. A lot of the, I noticed straight flat runs on a lot of the coasters, and the big culprit for, I'd say, all of the coasters, you seem to do this thing where you kind of drive wheel out, and then once you get to the top, you drive wheel across. Now we do see that in coasters in real life, but it's on every single coaster. And that means there's a lot of wait time before the coaster actually gets to the lift. And once you get up the lift, again, there's a ton of wait time. So for me, I would probably try and consider where you're putting your boarding station and why, and then try to find a way to improve that, as well as you can increase the speed time of your lifts and your drive wheels when you use them and when they're necessary. I don't think they're necessary everywhere, and there are times where, you know, if you would have kind of rotated the station or placed it differently, I mean, this could have gone straight into a drop and came looping through this kind of cave. And it would achieve the same amount of excitement, well, it would achieve more excitement without less wait times. So I noticed that throughout a lot of the coasters, and I would just say keep an eye out on your drive wheels and the drive wheels at the top of lifts and before lifts, and then add a little bit more banking in between on your turns, especially that last one. I noticed we came down and we just do hard turns without any swooping banking. Like this whole area could transition and kind of arc nicely around and into the next piece. It is a little bit kind of angular and straight, if you know what I mean. So just make things a little bit more organic and wavy and loopy and stuff like that. I think the wooden coaster was probably your best effort, but again, it comes down this big drop and it's super small turn with no banking. It's tiny and then it goes straight again. So I would have probably rather arced that up and around and kind of created an S shape. Or I guess it's going the other way. Yeah, okay, that's the first lift. Anyways, you get the idea. You see it a little bit here as well. So just a little bit more arcs, wider banks, and stuff like that. That would be my general feedback to you on this one. But your art on this park is absolutely amazing. Lots of great details in this one. And even though it's a little bit unfinished, there was still a lot of polish. And as I mentioned, a lot of the blueprints are good. So if you were the creator of these, definitely give them an upload. And I think they will see some downloads and subscribes. So pretty good stuff there, Mihaeru. And that's going to do it for this episode of Park Spotlight, everybody. If you guys enjoyed, please be sure to smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe for more daily Planet Coaster videos. And if you'd like to support the show to keep it going, you can do so by becoming a patron. All right, everybody, thank you guys so much for watching and hope you all have an awesome day. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.